Today, I'm going to cover everything you need to know to plan an unforgettable fly fishing trip to the Driftless. I'm going to give you my top recommendations on where to stay, where to eat, which streams to hit, and which gear and flies you need to bring to be successful. I'm going to make recommendations for both shorter and longer trips, and if this is your first time out here, I'm going to recommend that you stay at least 3 to 4 full days to get the most out of the experience. And then I'm going to take you on an early season trip of mine so you can get a taste of what to expect when you're out here. I'm fortunate enough to live within 2 hours of Viroqua, so I get out here fishing these waters every chance I get. Me and Bethany, my significant other and a beginner fly fisher woman, have taken countless trips here, so I'll be sure to include our recommendations for some non-fly fishing activities as well. My top recommendation, especially if it's your first time out here, is to stay in Viroqua, where you'll be within walking distance of several great restaurants and bars, the Driftless fly shop, and within 20 minutes of 50 plus Class 1 trout streams, including the Bad Axe River, Kickapoo, and the Timber Coulee, which we'll talk on later. If you're looking to keep it simple, I suggest staying in one of the several great, clean Airbnbs located on Main Street. It can make it really easy if you're planning full days of fishing to come back and not have to deal with additional setup. There are fantastic camping options in nearby state parks and rustic cabin options as well. Many of these are located within walking distance of Class 1 trout streams and located down in scenic valleys or atop scenic bluffs. So one of the great parts about the Driftless is that you're going to be surrounded by literally hundreds of Class 1 trout streams. The 3 must-fish streams down here are the Timber Coulee, the Bad Axe River, and the West Fork of the Kickapoo. The Timber Coulee is one of my personal favorites. You're going to be down in a gorgeous valley with scenic bluffs all around you. It's got a super high volume of trout, as do all 3 of these recommendations. The Kickapoo is great for beginners. You can actually backcast there. So there's essentially 3 different rigs that I use down here. One's a dropper rig, one's just straight dry fly fishing, and then a hopper dropper setup during the warmer months, which can be exceptional fishing and super fun. For the dropper rig, which is what I use most of the time, you're going to want to use a size 12 to 14 lead fly. And go-to recommendations around here are the famous pink squirrel, Euro-style nymphs or perdigons. I like tungsten jigs that get my flies down quickly, and pheasant tail or scud patterns work as well. For the dropper, go-to recommendations are zebra midges, smaller nymphs, flashbacks, stuff like that. That's normally what I start out with if I'm not seeing fish rising, and kind of go through them there. For dry flies, you'll want to come with a few different options just in case there is a hatch, and really the main ones here are midges and caddis flies. I love parachute Adams, and I bring it in a couple different sizes, a couple different smaller midge patterns, and then you're going to want fly floating. Now we also have wonderful food here in Wisconsin and great dive bars. So the restaurants that I would highly recommend are the Driftless Cafe, which is just a great farm to table experience. Wonderful chef, fantastic menu that changes based on the seasons. You're going to want to hit the Viroqua Co-op for any sort of groceries, and then they've got fantastic breakfast sandwiches if you're over quick trip. They also carry Wonder State coffee, which is a local organic coffee roaster. And then, of course, because you're in Wisconsin, I would recommend stopping at least one authentic dive bar. These are some of my favorite experiences, especially after a day of fishing, because there's often at least 5 fly fishermen at the bar, and it's a great place to swap stories. There's also a ton of non-fishing activities to do here as well. Canoeing the Kickapoo or the Wisconsin River is a favorite. The Kickapoo Valley Reserve is a great place to go hiking. And if you're staying here for more than a few days, I'd encourage you to go explore the Mississippi, go further south and explore some of the streams down there, or some of the various state parks that are located right around the area. So I just headed down to the first stream of the day. All right, a little bit nicer one there. So all in all, awesome start to this 2-day adventure. I'm gonna go over to one of the more classic streams here because it's 3 p.m. and still got a few hours of sunlight. All right, we made it successfully to the second stream of the day, which means I'm gonna enjoy this wonderful, one wonderful IPA out of Madison called Fantasy Factory, which I've never had before, but their graphic design's pretty cool. I'm going to be starting with the double nymph rig that was working okay at the last stream, and I'm gonna guess that the streamer is not gonna work very well given how clear and sunny it is. There are some midges flying around, and it's 3 p.m. so that means that we could get into some dry fly fishing this afternoon. As much as I don't want to fish this just glass water, that seems to be where they are today with the water levels being so low. Super subtle tank. I didn't even see it. Just a gorgeous brown. So because I was alone on this trip and I spent the full day fishing, I chose one of my personal favorites, which is the Pacifico Mexican Grill, where I feasted on way too much Mexican food before passing out at about 8:30 p.m. So I'm here at the second stream of the day. The first one was down in an open valley and it was super windy, so decided to move spots and excited to fish this one.